Hello everybody and welcome to I was scuffed here for a bit. Okay, now where were we? Alright. So just before we begin with this oh wait. Why do I have this random shit going on here? I will not be having expression detections for the meantime. Hey, we should be good now. Okay. Before we begin with this pilot episode of State of the VTuber Community, I just want to apologize for the 2-hour delay brought upon by the monsoon that happened here in the Philippines. And it's still happening just because we got 2 typhoons just up north of where I sat up right now. And it caused a lot of problems with the electricity providers, so power got cut off pretty quite often. But everything seems to be going fine. I'm A-okay, and I just wanted to address this thing because it's been quite a bit of a hellhole going on here. And to be honest, we're almost at the brink of, we're almost hours away from Burma, so which means hopefully if things are turning the way I expect them to be, it will be a lot better. And I just want to say thank you everyone for waiting for at least 2 hours just for this to happen, and then I'm really sorry about that. But sometimes it's the Murphy's Law, everything doesn't come along to plan, so we're just gonna have to wait and see how it goes. Thankfully, most of the weather have subsided, so we're back down to business. So with that out of the way, let's present the state of the VTuber community presented by yours truly, Agatsu. And here we got 5 topics to be discussed today. Now, first and foremost, the copypastas and emotion baits. Second, recent graduations, like real graduations, not those from the copypasta, not those unlike the factors from the first one. Third, brand VTubers. What's the deal? Because you see, we got many brand VTubers out there. Some of the companies use their brand VTubers now and then to promote their like their service or whatever the hell that is, their or to promote their service, or like their marketing tactics apparently. But anyway, we got some brand VTubers, so let's discuss them after like the first two. Fourth, State of VStream, this platform in which state of the VTuber community will be presented by the end of each month. What's the status about VStream and how we can help in reshaping it to become a mainstay for VTubers and viewers alike. And fifth topic is about VTresMarias, the next steps. So, I run my own collective, VTresMarias, which includes Mama Dearest, which is Ara Ostara, and Mama Puni, which is Hina Ojo / Hina Ski. And we're going to be talking about the next steps moving forward as the proud founder, benefactor of VTresMarias. Now let's begin with the first factor, which is about copypastas and emotion baits. As you may have noticed, they are virtually everywhere. We cannot escape doing all these. Or we cannot escape from having these contents in our feed. As in my own perspective, and I will be mentioning later on, I'll be discussing later on how I dealt with such an improbable copypasta that had put one of my accomplices at risk. So, the recent copypasta in question... What? Stand by, I just had to adjust this microphone for a bit before we proceed to the first factor. Now, the very first factor in which we're going to be talking about are copypastas and emotion baits. So as you may have noticed, the recent copypasta / emotion bait that we have received so far is a graduation bait. And as you may have noticed, there have been a lot of copypastas aligned with graduation because, you know, there are some recent graduations out there which we'll be talking about in the second factor. But that doesn't necessarily influence the actual graduation and stuff. VTubers are using these kinds of emotion baits to capitalize on their emotions. And that is a big problem within that part of that community where someone loyal to you can just take it seriously and cry a lot about it without realizing it's a joke. Which is not the best way to put it. Now, I won't mention a specific name because I just got wind of one copypasta that aligned with that, or rather, you know, as copypasta / emotion bait mix, hybrid, whatever the hell call that is. Call it a bunch of cases you want, a bunch of terms that you want. I'll call with copypasta emotion bait hybrid. So there's this one famous VTuber in which I will not name, but if you call wind of the situation, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Now, this VTuber has a lot of followers, and she just made a copypasta / emotion bait hybrid, talking about a VTuber graduation. And then, by the end of the statement, there's an underlying statement that indicates this whole thing is a hoax, the whole thing is a joke. Now, I've seen a couple of perspectives from this, but one notable perspective is from another VTuber who are against copypastas and emotion baits. I know that because I am an advocate in anti-copypasta and emotion bait myself. That is my perspective. perspectives can vary. Perspectives vary among others, but let's just focus on that VTuber's perspective, which I will talk about, and potentially my own perspective about this whole situation. Now, this VTuber, whom I'm also not gonna be naming because of privacy, but if you got wind of the situation, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Again, as opposed to this copypasta / emotion bait. But the comments / or replies were very absurd. Like majority of the replies that were given to that VTuber who were opposing that emotion bait was pretty absurd. They were defending that VTuber, that previous party, that former party that conducts that emotion bait, and then proceeds to attack those who have opinions against it. Which is pretty worrying because not every single person has to have context in the whole story to be able to find out what in the hell is going on in the background. Why did they do that? And whose audience are they targeting to? Now, for my own perspective about this, when I saw that copypasta, when I encountered that copypasta / emotion bait, it made me think, I've seen this one before. And it turns out I'm right, because there's also another copypasta in which I talked about in the last hashtag Agatalks episode, where that one copypasta about graduating got one of my accomplices involved. But nevertheless, in the later days, that accomplice of mine decided to just straight up graduate and just put herself on hiatus. But, well, not necessarily graduating, she's just putting herself on hiatus because of a lot of circumstances, especially her health conditions, which is totally acceptable. I can live with that. But anyways, in any case, when I saw those comments, I was just like enraged and a bit sad, knowing that VTuber who was against that copypasta did something right. And they were being criticized for it. That's how the internet goes nowadays. People can criticize you for no apparent reason, or for just expressing your own opinion. That is the real issue here. Which is even more worrying because some of the VTubers in which I know have a tendency to support those who made that particular practice in the first place. And I know some of them. But let's not mention them here because, maybe they knew, maybe they don't. That's entirely their perspective. I can live with that. But the thing is, the whole problem in which you are not entitled to any opinions and we must attack you for it is generally discouraging, and all in all, that's a bit too worrisome. And we need to change that. So, in that case, we should be aware about these kinds of copypastas in the first place. And let's take a deep look at what's the context behind this. Unless you're taking things too seriously, like I do sometimes. Because sometimes I take things too seriously, and not even know what's going on, and had to consult that party myself just to find out what the hell is going on. Because another VTuber mutual who I'm not gonna be mentioning, I knew some of them who are actually my mutuals on Twitter/X. One of them made an interesting copypasta detailing that. Let me guess. Let me think. About an account takeover scenario in which the OP was generally ill and someone had to take over it being a friend or a relative or someone closest to the OP or the original poster, whether it be a mother or one of your parents or your husband or your kid, a kid who could use the internet, of course. Those were the general factors. And then by the below of the thread, I actually kind of like sort of believed in that because, I mean, we all get sick. We all get naturally sick. We all know that. But by the bottom of the thread, that actually has 2 posts in that thread. In context, that quote-unquote husband was none other than a fictional character named Goku. So what did I do? I did not respond to any of that. I unreposted and unliked the tweet. Unliked the post. I kept calling it tweet because, you know, it's formerly Twitter, but I just gotta call it just like its own terminology this time, like post, like, repost, things like that. So, in a nutshell, for this state of the VTuber community's first factor, we are still having issues with these kinds of copypasta / emotion baits. And we all know that they are adhered to the trend. But we all know, again, I'll have to rephrase that. And while we all know that some of them will adhere to the trend, I would like to emphasize that we need to take these actions and think these actions carefully and seriously this thing, because you wouldn't know. You could put some of your audience at risk. If one person encourages to do something without realizing it's even a joke in the first place, then that party will believe in that, no matter what the circumstances that they will be facing. And that you, as a benefactor who posts that kind of copypasta / emotion bait, you are wholly responsible for everything that you do to your audience. Your audience are just your followers. They just follow you wherever you go. And if you make them do something that is indeed questionable without thinking things through and just believe that it's fun, it's a joke, it's just a trend, then you need to rethink your actions carefully, because one day those parties that will take these things seriously, they will not be loyal to you anymore and will get to another set of audience. You will lose trust. And in my case, in my perspective, you need to address these trends properly. We need to address these trends properly, and we need to ensure that not only we have quite the tendency to address these kinds of trends, we need to analyze and rethink critically, think critically about what we're going to deal with. Because let me give you an example in which that particularly enraged me by the time I read this. It's already a copypasta I know that I've already searched for it myself, and I once talked to my accomplice about it. I got 2 accomplices, so one of them I have a huge discussion to. It's about blank is gay indeed copypasta, in which it adheres to the LGBTQIA plus community, or just call it LGBT plus community. Because, let's face it, these kinds of issues persist anywhere, and oftentimes people on the internet capitalize on that just to have trends that have copypastas on them in order for other posters to get on the bandwagon without noticing the context behind it. Now this copypasta, blank is gay indeed, is very, very interesting yet hurtful, especially to me, because it adheres to the LGBT plus community, but at the same time you're demeaning or you're demonizing the other communities. Like, I am straight. I'm a female presenting straight male IRL VTuber. I am straight male IRL. I know that. But that doesn't mean I can be a part of LGBT plus community. And this, in context, the copypasta, the blank is gay indeed, is something that not only demonizes or demeans the straight community, it also demeans other community which it must have been aligned to, like any marginalized community, or in some other scenarios, the entire LGBT plus community itself. Because you are a G, you are gay. But in context on that copypasta, it's just that you are gay. It's not deserving like that. Which angers me because this is not how you look at how you want people to look at LGBT plus community in the first place. That is not the whole reason why we have these in the first place. LGBT plus community is there for a reason, that we should all universalize how we interact with certain people of certain caliber without need of discrimination. And this is discrimination. This whole copypasta is straight up discrimination, and I will not stand for it. And one of my accomplices, who was pansexual, she actually agreed with me on this, because not only does it demeans the straight community, it also demeans the LGBTQIA plus community itself. So that's the whole issue behind this. Trends are everywhere, but if we capitalize on those trends in the wrong way, then Murphy's Law will apply to it. Something's wrong about to happen, something's wrong about to happen. But that Murphy's Law comes with a twist. You need to face the consequences on these actions. I know that a long time ago. And if you do not care for your actions, then who else would? Maybe those offending parties that you've offended. Second, the recent graduations of popular VTubers out there that is not aligned with the first factor, that is literally a graduation in of itself. Let me take a look here. I have this from VTuber News Drop, so I'm browsing it on my phone. Okay, here we go. So here's one from VTuber News Drop from my good friend Teddy Cambosa. It happened just a bit earlier, yes. So let me read this out. From Prison Project. Prison projects Lana Shikami to graduate on August 31. According to the agency, Lana has decided that she will be unable to continue her VTubing activities for the longer run due to her health issues. So this is a part where it gets really concerning, and really understandable, is that we're gonna be sick. We naturally get sick. If we do not care for our health, then everything will start to collapse. And graduating as a VTuber is one way of saying that you are committed to your health. That same accomplice, what I just discussed in the first factor, had that same circumstance. So that's why. But she's technically graduating, but she's actually not graduating. She's just putting herself on hiatus. Same goes for the other accomplice, which I will mention in the fifth topic, but not at this time. So let me read out this article. Lana Shikami, a VTuber talent part of Prison Project's 5th generation, is set to graduate earlier, the agency has recently announced on their official Twitter page. According to the agency, given her current health-related issues, no graduation stream will be held. Instead, a special message video by Lana has been posted. It's worth noting that Lana went under a hiatus beginning August 5 due to health concerns. Prison has noted that her condition has become uncertain, that the talent has decided that she will be unable to continue her VTubing activities for the longer run. We understand that this is a sudden and saddening announcement for Lana's and Prison Project's fans, but we ask that you accept and support Lana's decision to prioritize her health and recovery and respect her privacy in this personal matter, the agency stated. In her graduation message to her sub-beans, Lana has thanked all the fans and other Prism agents for all the support it has given her over the past few months. She has also asked fans to avoid bringing up speculations of her departure, as this was discussed with the Prison Project management staff in private. All of her membership and other exclusive content will still be up until then. It is unclear whether her regular videos and streams as well as her social media pages will still be kept up. Lana debuted alongside Ami Amami and Kots Bane on April 28 this year as part of Prison Project's 5th generation. At time of this recording, she has over 6,000 YouTube subscribers and over 3,000 Twitter followers, and over 3,000 X followers. She's the second Prison Project talent to graduate, the first one being Osio Sumi, who graduated on 20 January 2022. So, this is just a recent graduation that just happened recently. And it's just pretty nerve-wracking that, given by the fact that we had the first factor already included in this list, is that people capitalize it or monopolize it for nefarious purposes. So that's why I already have addressed the first factor or the first topic beforehand, before getting the actual graduation. So that's a pretty bold move that VTubers had to go through, but again, not the best idea. You can get yourself in trouble. It's time to be just transparent about it. That's all I'm gonna say. Next up, another graduation, courtesy of VTuber News Drop again, from Jay Agonoy, published 24 August. Holostars English's Magni Dresmond Novesper to graduate on that same day. Wow. On that same day as the previous topic, that's the previous article we have here. Cover Corporation has announced the graduation of Holostars English talents Magni Desmond and Noah Vesper from the VTuber agency Thursday, 24 August, Japan time, more than a month since the company announced the suspension of their activities without any further explanation. So this is a bit worrying that we have another graduation taking place, but it adheres that it has to be the same as Oroharusia, which actually inspired me to do VTubing in the first place. I mean, like, if I'm carrying her torch, then, well, it can go from there, I guess. By the way, Rusia is Mikineko, and she already has been going independently, I guess. In its official statement, Cover asked for everyone's understanding, as they said members will not be performing any further activities such as graduation streams. Magni Desmond and Noah Vespa has been active since the formation of All Stars English and have contributed to the growth of the group. However, in accordance with their wishes, we have accepted the decision to graduate. However, we deeply appreciate their contributions and wish them the best in their future endeavors. Memberships and exclusive content will be closed after 1 October Japan time. Fan letters will be accepted until Monday, 2 October. In a separate announcement, sales of merchandise related to the graduating talents, including their voice packs, the Tempest Summer Camp voice drama set, as well as all the Tempest t-shirts on Amazon merch on demand, and will be discontinued by 12 noon on 30 September Japan time. No decision has been made yet regarding the existence of said graduating members' YouTube channels. News Drop has reached out to Cover through email regarding this. Tempest members Altair, Gravus Beto, Benzo and Haka, and Machina X Flayon have cancelled their streams for the day. The group's remaining members prepared their individual statements on Axel Sierra's stream moments after the announcement. Desmond and Vesper are part of the Tempest headquarters team alongside Riggy, Altair, and Axel Sierras. All 4 talents debuted on 22 July 2022. It should be noted that Vesper was suspended for 2 weeks by management last year due to internal misconduct, but that alone was a different matter unrelated to this year's recent suspension. So there's a lot of issues to address there, but that's gonna be in private. But that's not entirely my concern. But it's also been worrying that many VTubers have graduated. One peculiar agency I have noted that, since there is a reformation in the English branch, may have been leaving the agency one after another to go with their independency endeavors. So it's a little bit worrying, but again, not my business. So let's just keep it at that. Now, let's get over to the third topic, which is brand VTubers. What was the deal? So, in response to that, I have known 2 brand VTubers. One of them being from Crunchyroll. Oh, actually it was 3, because I just said 2 because one of them is a former one. One of them is from Crunchyroll. 2 is from Opera, specifically Opera GX. And 3rd is formerly from Muse Indonesia, a part of Muse Asia. Now, Crunchyroll's brand VTuber is Crunchyroll Hime-chan, which he was already an advocate, she was already an endorser for most of Crunchyroll's services, and of course a promotion of other anime stuff. She also did some streams, and also did some quite a bit myself, but I probably went to management apparently. Second of all, Opera GX. Their brand VTuber is GX Aura. She just debuted a few weeks ago. I'm very quite well aware of that. There has been some marketing and PR going on out there. It's actually kind of commendable in the first place to be able for them to do about that. So yeah, there's also been some criticisms, which I will not get into those details because you have caught up on them if you have known GX Aura. And third, being formerly on Muse Indonesia, was none other than Kurage Luna, who is really an Indonesian. I'm actually kind of known Kurage Luna from one of their YouTube streams on Muse Indonesia. Or like Muse Asia, I'm not subscribed to Muse Indonesia. I'm just subscribed to Muse Asia, and just for some reason, Luna has her stream up on Muse Asia. So I think it was on a management team at some point. So, what was the deal with brand VTubers? This is in my own speculation, but brand VTubers, I must say that it's a great way to actually represent themselves in a different amounts of field. And I gotta say, it's a great opportunity for them to be able to focus on things that need focusing on without any repercussions. But the thing is that it comes with old caveat of problems. It's just only tied to that one organization, and you wouldn't know if that independence that you have, being an independent VTuber, if they would or would not allow you to do that. So that was like one of the biggest concerns there. Second of all, you'll be facing backlash, and one of those instances there was that during the audition for GX Aura was that it's just going to be 25 years old up to 40 years old. So someone in their 40s have submitted an audition request, and Opera GX have said, you're too old already, get yourself like a nursing home or something. Which is bad business for Opera GX, in my opinion. So that's a little bit worrying, but again, it's already had been many months ago. GX Aura has debuted. Y'all know we don't know who's the person behind it, but I hope she does well. Congratulations to her. I might be making out a statement the first week of September to relegate these kinds of stuff, but you know what I mean. Anyway, as for Crunchyroll, with Crunchyroll, I don't see any problems. It's a little bit interesting because in one of the instances when Metrosphere was around, Crunchyroll Hime introduced herself to as a character in Metrosphere. That's why I got intrigued to playing the game, but I put on a standby for so long I didn't even notice when I was about to start playing Metrosphere, it already had been shut down. That was many months before the shutdown of Princess Knight EN, which was from Crunchyroll, which was licensed from Cygames, and that got a lot of backlash. So that's a little bit worrying. But on Muse Indonesia's side, it appears again, this is due to my speculation, but she seems to have got tired of it. I might have to ask Luna about it after this whole V stream thing. So anyway, again, not much to say about brand VTubers. If I do have a brand myself, I think hashtag Mama is one way of saying that I have a brand. And if I have a brand VTuber, well, I'm just gonna go with Mama herself, or Yotang if you're caring for the whole name. If there's gonna be hashtag Mama, there has to be Yotang herself, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe I can recreate her in Freud apparently, but I need to get some things from KT first to avoid having any kinds of repercussions regarding legalities or whatever the hell that is. Okay. Next up, we have State of VStream. This platform. Now, some of you might have noticed I have my personal involvement in reshaping VStream, like having my own sets of ideas, having my own sets of suggestions, and of course, some of these technicalities I have been involved in there as well, like the case of QuickSync H264, which happened on the last VStream run I did was with Venus Island Diaries. And the biggest achievement I had was to download VStream VODs via YT DLP, which I already did a tutorial about that. So, what's the next case for VStream? Again, so far so good. There's been more interest in here than it ever has been, and the fact that they keep having more and more stuff on their plate, means that. Oh wait, where's this board? Okay, there it is. Somehow this board isn't on him. There you go. Okay. Anyway. Back to what I was talking about. it's nice to see that VStream still has these kinds of updates every now and then, and it's a lot. We're already expanding. We're almost becoming a mainstream in this fashion, which is specifically for VTubers. But I think we also need to have a little bit more of more than just a VTuber. Anyone with a Discord account can connect to VTubers who are streaming here on VStream, and then maybe if they're streaming, they have to represent themselves. Anyway, this is just a VStream. It's just specifically for VTubers. But maybe we can add more functionality and have more people join in when VStream allows more than just VTubers to get on the bandwagon. Maybe they can represent a character, but they can reveal themselves IRL if they do so wish. So I think that's my suggestion for that, one of my suggestions, but let's not get to those kinds of repercussions for the meantime, because again, knowing all these kinds of technicalities and how to download VStream VODs, I already have made my mark here on VStream. And related to that, running streams every Monday, Friday, and Saturday, as opposed to the tutorial and the tutorial videos Monday, Thursday, and Friday. No, that's actually Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, as opposed to Monday, Thursday, and Friday on the tutorial video. The reason why I say Monday, Friday, and Saturday because FIFA 6 Carriage, which is supposed to be airing here tonight, here it is Thursday, is moved to tomorrow, so yeah. A lot happened, but I got it, I guess. Okay, so we got the announcements here. So the new features. So the events have persisted, and also some bug fixes. That's that's all the other thing that had to be said and done here. But you know, so many things happen. I can't quite catch up with things. But notably, it's mostly just some pitches and stuff that I don't want to take a look at. But anyway, I think that's it for the State of VStream. Maybe some more updates next month. That'll be online with the next month's airing. So yeah, State of VStream in the State of VTuber community. Well, you get the idea. And the last factor that we're gonna be talking about is VTresMarias, V San rino Maria. The next steps. Now, I know you have been wondering why VTresMarias is so quiet and I'm only the one doing all the heavy lifting. It's because my two accomplices, one being Ara Ostara, my dearest, and the other being Hina Hojo / Hinasuki Makwini, are on hiatus at the moment, with the latter being on permanent hiatus due to health issues. And she's selling her 2.0 model, but I don't know what's going on with her 1.0 model. Maybe she just plans on selling it, maybe she plans to, but let's just give her the benefit of the doubt and hope it's for the best anyway. Now, before we get to the next big steps here on VTresMarias, I would just like to emphasize that I do have some personal connections with my accomplices. That's why I made VTresMarias in their honor with me as the center of it all. So, like me, Ara and Hina are all VTubers, and due to their circumstances, it's in my best interest to help them as much as I can. And that alone formed a connection between me and those two VTubers, those two parties, which had led to even more opportunities on my belt. One of them being on the latter, being on the on her initial streams on 20 June of 2022, to her debut on 3 July of the same year, and then moving onward with the rise and fall of Suzu after 10 days of being in the debut, and then having her 2.0 model release, which apparently went up for sale, went up for adoption. I was there every single moment. especially when we're talking about Mama Queenie. Well, it's Mama Hina. It's because since her 1 month since her debut, I became one of her moderators, her longtime moderators, and I'm just glad that I'm just so honored that despite everything, I can still have all these kinds of opportunities to monitor my community with our best interest. And of course, we've been discussing so many things in the background. Of course, some other events. She and I talked a lot, and we kept reassuring each other during the time when things got awry, or awry. As you may have noticed, I was speaking in a different tone here. But in that case, it's not so bad after all. It's just it's for the best interest of everybody else, and I'm quite happy to say the least, and that I got to know these two people very well. We do complement a lot of stuff, we do care about a lot of stuff, and we kept in touch with each other even though we're always apart here. They're both in the US, I'm here in the Philippines, so I'll be going back to Italy very soon. But that doesn't apply here. Because as long as we're still together like this, we still have our bond like this, we can still go on with our usual lives and be able to recover from all of our circumstances together. Now, here's the best part. I've been making some adjustments to represent ourselves, all three of us, on a website, on my own website at development.github.io/VTresMarias. There's been some changes under the hood, like the making of new logo, making new symbols, which of course is different from the symbols that I just made a few months ago. We have our own symbols, we have our own representations, thanks to our friend, to Mama Dearest's friend, Miss Erica VT. So huge shout out to her for making that possible, and for only her kind of tarot cards, especially with the work of light decks. Most of our shenanigans and most of our representations came from her Work Your Light deck. Now, we've got a whole lot of expansion, and I'm willing to represent myself as a benefactor and founder of VTresMarias for the sake of my accomplices even further. So, having more activities than ever before will be my main forte moving forward. So, next big step. Aside from having to change the current symbols, like, the graphic side of them, they're not just the representations of like the words. They're all permanently etched with. It's just their symbols itself, like their own graphical interpretations themselves, will be getting a huge makeover. Second of all, the website will be done before the end of the year. That is one guarantee that I will try to adhere on. The website will be done in a year to celebrate the first before the end of the year, to celebrate the first anniversary of the invocation of VTresMarias. And third, as I get involved in more collaborations, I will bring VTM's name with me to be able to support the accomplices that have been with me to a broader audience, to show that we still care about each other for the sake of universality without borders. So, with that all said and done, that is the final factor, the final topic. VTresMarias, the next bit. VTresMarias, the next steps. So again, those were the 5 topics that we've discussed here. And again, this is uninterrupted, so it's pretty good. So I would like to thank everyone for joining us here, and of course, to all the new lurkers, the new followers, the new viewers. and everyone in between. It's been such an honor to be at this same spot, an honor to be conducting this very first pilot episode of the state of the VTuber community, because we need to address what's going on and how we can help. Even though this is just a tip of the iceberg, we still have more on our plate. And that's what makes us feel, that's what makes us more unique. Because we have more that we do have now on our plate. And we need to help each other sometimes, because those kinds of opportunities will get back to us one day. AKA the butterfly effect. And the ripple effect. Next up. So, that concludes the very first pilot episode, the pilot monthly episode of State of the VTuber Community. My deepest apologies again for the 2-hour delay. There has been a power outage, so that's why I want to make this quick, even though it's almost an hour long. But anyhow, I'm really glad that I did it, and I hope you all enjoyed all my ramblings on camera, even though I'm just using this awesome Freud that I just did. Anyway, that'll be it for this episode. Next episode for State of the VTuber Community will be at the end of September 30 September 2023. Then again on that's episode 3, 31 October, episode 4, 30 November, and episode 5, the year-end special, on 31 December, just before we hit the New Year mark. So, I guess that's it. We're gonna be meteor showering someone. But the problem is who we're gonna be meteor showering. Problem is whom we will be meteor showering. That is the question. Let's take a look at it before we end our stream on the episode. Okay, so she's now streaming. That's good. So VTuber Hour. Let me try that again. So who are we gonna raid though? Who are we gonna take a shower? I saved it, but I don't see Madam Lisa here. I thought it is, but never mind. VTuber the Fox. The Fox. Okay, so I guess that's it for us here. It will have 2 meteor shower, VTuber Hour the Fox now. I'm using it on phone this time because for some reason when I use VC Face it tends to lag everything else, so... Alright, here we go. So we're gonna be meteor showering her when we get to the holding screen. But again, thank you so much for the very first episode, and we'll see you tomorrow with 346 Garage, and Saturday with Life After Mahatan. And another stream schedule, another weekly stream schedule coming this Sunday. So look forward to it over on Twitter/X at the blog. Also, I stream on Twitch with ASMR reading on twitch.tv/theblog. And also go check out my vlogs and of course some other shenanigans, including mostly DOXBV on recordings on youtube.com/@theblogman. So again, thank you so much. This has been I Got You, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.